and welcome back to Married to Marriage. I'm Kayla.
And I am Antoine.
And today we are coming to you live from our living room again. But in the ice cold. How are y'all? You probably won't see this by the time. There probably won't be snow and ice on the ground by the time this episode comes out. But I'm just wondering how other married couples and families of small children are doing during these ice and snowstorms. Now, we homeschool, so our kids are with us all day, every day anyway. And we're with each other all day, every day anyway. But there's something about having to be stuck, being somewhere with someone all day, every day, by force and not by choice, that makes it feel a little different. I enjoyed 2020 because I don't go nowhere. I'm a homebody by nature. But past that first month, I was pregnant too. But past that first month, I was like, it'd be real nice if I could just go out and like walk around Target. And I felt that today. I was like, it would have been real nice if we could have took these kids to the library or to the YMCA or to run around in a park or anywhere else to scream except for our house.
I just kept thinking about that saying where people go, unless hell freezes over. I'm like, wait a second. If hell freezes, that means we're stuck. And it's just, it doesn't mean anything's going to change. But we know what it's like to have 3 kids in that cold environment, and it feels like hell.
We also don't do screens like TV and stuff for the kids anymore.
Take the TV out.
We've been eliminating sugar, so we don't have like ice cream and stuff around the house. Like, it's just been a trying time.
Yeah.
There's no release. We don't smoke, we don't drink, but like I could take a Coke right now. A Coca-Cola would be real nice. A scoop of ice cream, something to release the feelings.
We got bigger goals
What's
than
happening?
That. We got bigger goals than that.
Speaking of goals, I think something that I've been wanting to talk about a little bit is, you know how it's always like new year, new me, or like 2025 is my year to blah, blah, and 2026 is going to be my year to blah, blah. My word this year is blah, 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 whatever it is. I was thinking the other day, because someone also asked us what our word for the year or our goal for the new year was going to be, because it's a new year. And I had been thinking about this for a while, but we don't have one for this year, I want to say. We don't need one for this year.
No.
Here's the thing. It may come up later. God may drop it in our spirit later, like, hey, this year y'all really need to focus on blah, blah, blah. But, okay.
Don't give me another word.
However, I don't think just because the new year changes, that automatically means your goals change. Because what we heard growing up, and a blast from our past, is if God is not telling you something new, you don't feel him speaking to you something new, you don't feel like you're supposed to move from this season, it's because you're supposed to do the last thing that God told you to do, and you're supposed to finish it. And a lot of times, people feel like just because it's a new year, the calendar changes, that then your season changes, or what you did was supposed to be done and finished. But however, that's not how the Bible works.
Yeah.
God is not a God of our calendar time and year. Noah didn't get to finish building that ark just because it went from 10 BC to 11 BC.
Somebody has got new goals somewhere.
This didn't get to stop leading the people to the promised land just because it went from 26 AD to 27 AD. Yeah. You know what I mean? The thing that God told you to do, you're still supposed to do it even though it's a new year. The thing that God has dropped in your spirit to do, you have to do to completion. Now, you can do 2 things simultaneously. The goal that you were supposed to do, the vision that God has set for your house, for your family, for your life, those things can still be happening while new goals are also happening.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a example. Our vision for our family has not changed. We moved to Nashville in 2018 with the same vision that God gave us in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 2018. And it is now 2026 and that vision is still the same. However, we have had children. Our children have grown. We have done other things. We have traveled. We have started new business ventures. We have changed locations of where we lived. We've changed churches. I mean, we've changed friendships. Yeah. We've changed everything but this marriage. But the vision for our home and our family has not changed, nor will it change until it is complete.
Come on. Now you're preaching. And when my wife is talking about vision, she's not talking about dream.
Ooh, that's good. I am not talking about a dream that you have to own a 2032 G-Wagon.
She's not talking about values.
Ooh, I'm not talking about your bank account needs to have this many zeros in it.
Yeah.
You like that? You like that?
Okay.
You like that?
Let's see what else I can find. She's talking about vision. A lot of people don't understand this, that vision is very, very different than a dream, values, and even goals. Goals live within inside of visions. Goals live within inside of dreams. Goals live inside of different accomplishments that you want to do. But a vision is very, very different than a dream. And the very difference between a dream and a vision is a dream is for you. A dream is for you. A dream is for something you want to have, something you want to accomplish, something that you want to get out of whatever that dream is. Your dream person, your dream car, your dream trip. But a vision oftentimes is for other people.
It has nothing to do with your wants.
It has something to do with you, but most of the time, it doesn't feel like it's for you. And that's what usually takes along that first, I would even say months to a couple of years. It took me a couple of years to wrap my head around like, well, I got to do this for people I don't even know, for education and skills and expertise that I don't have. I got to do this with money I don't have. I got to be able to do this in something I have never seen before or seen anybody else around me do before.
All while still funding a family.
All while still funding a family. All faith. 100% faith, meaning we don't go looking for jobs. We don't go advertising, cold calls, or emails. God brings us our manna, and we got to manage and store that. That is our testimony, and we'll be able to package that up for you later. But in the state, and nobody works a 9-to-5 job, we have jars that turn into skills, that turn into LLCs for the kingdom. And that's how we roll and that's how we operate, because God has mandated me to do that, which allowed us and mandated us to live at such a low level of means, meaning get an 1,100 square foot townhome because we need you to invest, get a smaller car so you're not having all these different car notes and payments. And you got to live high now. You got to keep all of that stuff up. That's not how we live. And I'm actually starting to see the fruit of it, of that obedience. Oh, it will keep you humble real quick, especially when you don't have what you want to have. No, you can go get it when you can. But that's not the call for our lives. Our call is to be obedient to this vision that we have. And even though times have changed, people have changed, location has changed, the vision remains the same, because vision is the only one out of dreams and goals and all these other ambitions that have a high requirement of who you hang out with, what church you go to. Vision determines how you spend your money. Vision determines where you get your money. Vision determines what book you read, what books you don't read, what shows you watch, what shows you don't watch, where your time is stewarded. Vision determines all of that. And that's what takes the long time, because you're finding out what's not allowed, what is allowed. And so in this area, in this moment in time where we are being obedient to the vision that God has called us to create and reveal value in people and in ideas, we didn't know that was going to come by the way of entrepreneurship and founding of tech companies. And so with that, we want to help all of you ideators, creatives, inventors, innovationists, families who feel called to do something not bigger, but something very different, something unique, something you've never seen before, but is going to take some other type of goals and setups to get where you want to go. Even though we know we're going to be accumulating and attracting wealth, we can't be wealthy and be unhealthy. So even on this journey, like you see us now, but you're going to see a true transformation over the next 3 to 4 or 5, 6 months out of this podcast, because we got to start to look like what we're becoming. We got to start to look like the environments that we are going to have authority in. We got to start sounding and communicating like the stages we're going to be on. We got to start being able to, we got to have the ability to have the character and the integrity to be able to steward the wealth and where it goes in the world, but also the people we have to lead, whether it's in our home, our communities, government level, and international. And so certain goals will get you ready for this, but it takes a little bit of time. And here's one of the problems that we run into as a married couple is, well, what's your goal? What's my goal?
Or people always ask you, well, I know what his goals are. What are your goals? I'm sorry, what? My goals are his goals. His goals are my goals. Yep. We got the same goals.
And that took us a long time to really fathom, because I would ask you, like, hey, baby, do you want to do X, Y, Z? And she'll look at me like, just, okay, well, first of all, we got to get some goals because we actually have a target.
Right.
If you have a target, you need a goal. You need a bow and you need an arrow. You need a goal and you need to be able to release it exactly where it needs to go. So me and my wife, we've dedicated our goal. We're going this way. Imagine being on the same team on a football team and your goal is that way and then your teammate goes that way.
Right. Same goal, same team.
On the same situation. What are we talking about? Imagine playing basketball. Imagine any game where the same team, you play opposite sides. That don't make sense. And so in this area, in this opportunity where your family or one of you guys in the family, whether it's the leader of the household or even the woman has a vision from God, it's going to take specific goals to help align that execution in those results to come to pass.
Yeah, I do have to say, I do believe that every family that is kingdom-minded or striving to live like Christ has a vision. Yeah. You're not out here willy-nilly. Like, we were all created to do something.
You're not out here wandering.
But what is that something that your family is specifically supposed to do? Mm-hmm. And although at first when my husband came to me, it was like, hey, this is the vision for our family. I believe this is what God is telling us, and we have to go and move in order to be able to do it. And all of this, and I was like, okay, but like, what does that mean? Because like, we create and reveal value in people and ideas. How? Mm-hmm. How we creating anything? Yeah. What we revealing? And what value? Like, we got $4 in the bank. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, realistically, it's easy if you don't use the kingdom side of your brain or the prayer closet side of your spirit to look at things and be like, that ain't for us. We go to work every day. You know what I mean? Like, our goal right now is to keep a roof over our head. But moving past that and really hearing what God is saying for your family, for your marriage, for your life, that everybody has been sent on earth to do something. I know that I always go back to Noah and the ark. I know I always do. But I think it's such a good example of the fact that God said to Noah, I want you to build a cruise ship. We ain't never seen no cruise ship. He gave him specific specifications, which is what I was reading in the Bible the other day. Like, there are specific measurements that God gave Noah that he had to make this boat be. And I'm sure that when he heard the specifications, he was like, oh, wait, that's not going to take like a weekend. Like, that's a lifetime for some folks. But not only that, how do I translate this so that my wife then understands the gravity of what I have to do? for something that has never been seen before.
And that's one of the hardest parts is communicating the vision, because vision leaks, leadership leaks, and being able to tell you something you've never seen that I've never seen, it takes time. That's why God invented faith, because you need to have a tool that you can't see the results of it. You just believe when you get done using it, you'll see it. And it takes about 3 different elements to make goals come to pass when you have a vision. One of them is a calling. I'm not going to over spiritualize this.
I say we're not religifying it, which is.
Yeah. One of the things is, what do you feel not only called to, but who do you feel called to? But you got to think of it in the context of the vision. A lot of people feel called to go serve this or serve them, and then they do it, and then it's done, and then that's it, and they don't know why they did it for. But when you have a vision, you'll know why you were called to this person or the organization, and there is no attachment to that person or that organization, because it was called to for the vision, because there was something there that you were supposed to see, you were supposed to get, that you were supposed to impart, deposit, or withdraw to go to the next mission. Now, what are you purposed for? What's the skills that you retain? For those of you who work for organizations and companies, or you've had great mentorship, the benefit of being around these different entities and people is you should gain some type of knowledge, wisdom, or understanding of the skills that you have and the gifts that you have. Why? It brings us into the third point. So you go from calling to purpose for to design for. What were we designed to do? What are you gifted to do that connects to your vision? Our vision says we create and reveal value in people and in ideas. We create and we reveal it. We do something like our Father does, create, and then we reveal something, meaning we just uncover what's already there. It's not a magic trick.
Create also doesn't mean like we're making bowls and pottery with our hands. Like, no. We're not doing that.
It's not outside of the gifts and skills and the callings that you already have. That's the first step, is whatever the vision is, it's directly connected to how you're already wired.
Yeah, what you're already doing.
It's a gift. It's a skill. It's something that comes so easy. You brush off, you look over, you underestimate, and you undervalue. This is where it comes from, because you, inside of your calling, you got to know that lies your conviction. Where your calling takes you to is now the purpose for it. Now, what's the value of that? Because that value births the investment. The value births the investment to reinvest back into the vision. So, and so I'll make this plain sight. Go ahead.
No. I was about to say, I was like, okay, babe, that sounds great, but like, make it plain. Okay.
Here's plain. I'm multi-talented, multi-gifted at many different things.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a multi-skilled musician and producer, a media specialist. I'm also technically savvy, very gifted when it comes to technology, whether it's taking things apart, putting things back together, understanding audio, video, lighting, and now understand relationships, how to communicate, how to build unique, different, very dynamic relationships in the business world. So what do we do with those? There's a story in the Bible of a prophet named Elijah and a widow woman who owes a big debt because her husband passed away. She goes to the prophet and says, Prophet Elijah, what can I do about my situation? My husband has died. I have 2 sons. I have a lot of debts to pay. And he kindly asks her, what do you have of value in your home? What do you have in your home that's of some value? And all she says is, I just have this oil, this expensive oil that she has. Then he tells her and her sons, not knowing how much she has, hey, go find all the jars you can find, even your neighbors. And as much as they kept bringing to fill it, that's how much oil kept flowing from it until they were able to not bring any more. What skills do you have that are jars that are just sitting there? Some of you guys have the gift to communicate. Some of you guys have the gift to be able to administer, to love on people, to gift technically, creatively. Some of you guys have a business strategy mind. Some of you have the ability to speak and communicate very, very strategically and very well. Those are your jars. So this is how we create and reveal value. I take all of the skills that I have that I mentioned. put them as jars and said, God, how do you want to fill it? You fill it with your oil, with your value. LLC number 1, we call that Eagle Eye. That's our audio and video company. We do integrations and we install podcast studios, broadcast studios, and we install all AV and lighting in churches and coffee shops and different venues around the country.
Shameless plug.
Then we have Central Coast Creatives.
LLC number 2.
It's a creative full stack end-to-end company that specializes not only in website development, social media management, but now even more in the majority of our work, podcast creation and content revenue generation from Central Coast. Remember I told you about that relational value that I had, that relational skill that I had? Well, we had to take that and we put that into a consulting company because God was putting me around different leaders, executives, and world changers around the country for me to help them vision what God has already given them the vision for, to see it in a bigger way, technically and creatively. That's what we've been able to do. And now we've launched this year Black Kite, which holds all of our technology with Course, which is a parent company for Passive Class, Nuendo, and Menly. Then we have StoryU, we have Rillium, we have Tonal, all these ideas. Why? Because one, we live in the greatest time that if you're a creator and if you love technology, this is the greatest time to be living. That if you have a skill or a passion or a gift or value in one of these areas, you can change a life. And so now with these different gifts, with these different skills, we've created LLCs, homes for them, that God goes and fills them with the right people that we solve the problems for, that we create that value for. In return, we take that value and reinvest it back into the vision. The first vision that we're called to do is create a tech company, edtech company called Pastor Class. Pastor Class is an online educational platform for churches, leaders, staff, but also industry makers, markets, and people who are in these different fields who are faith-based, but need a little bit more mentorship and education on how to be kingdom-like in their fields and be a little bit more like Jesus doing that. This is our vision. This is the main vision. We invest into this by doing these things and becoming these to the people that God has called us to serve. We don't have clients, we have assignments. And so because of that, we're able to be blessed without even trying, serving people and then reinvesting back into the kingdom the way that God has called us to do it for the last 8 years. And every year gets better, even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes, even though it may not seem like it. I can taste the difference. I can see the difference. So when it comes to being able to achieve all of these things, build all these things, they all start with a goal. Hey, what will it take for us to get here? What would it take for us to build this? Who should we hire here? They all take goals. Now our biggest goal is the who on a professional level and how much money we want to make, how much revenue we want to generate with strategic ideas. And so inside of your home, asking your wife and your spouse, saying, hey, what vision did God give us? That thing that remember that thing we just keep talking about every year? And it's like, when are we going to do that? It could be a food truck. It could be that daycare. It could be fostering kids. That could be the vision that God has set inside of your heart. Not a goal, not a dream, but it's a vision because it births something for someone else. Think about it. That food truck, you feeding other people. Fostering kids, that's somebody else's child that needs a home, that needs parents. That's usually the difference with vision. And that's why we decided to live uncomfortably comfortable and delay our gratification so that we can serve and help other people. I feel it so strong. Like it's the thing I know like the back of my hand, that we're supposed to serve and help other people until we are able to be able to benefit from that. And so that's what I shared with my wife for the last 6 years. That's been one of our biggest fights, biggest misunderstanding, but one of our greatest enlightening moments that we get to share together. But I had to stay true. I had to stay true. I had to stay strong to that because I know what God has shown me. It's a showing that follows to the knowing. Some people have to know. Some people have to have the receipt. Some people got to have proof. That's not the art of faith. That's not the beginning or the end of faith. Faith happens when there is no proof, when there is no receipts, when nothing exists. That's why it says by faith, all things were created. By faith. That's why we have a measure of it, because it's like yeast. When it's inside of it, you can't see it, but it just grows exponentially. And this is an exponential year for you and your family. When you start to carve out the vision that God has set for you and your family, and you create steps, or AKA goals, to get there, you're going to start with a what? What do we have? You have a flask of oil. Who can help you build it? Who's got jars? The value. How do we sell it? What is it worth? Then where do we invest it? That's the plan of the kingdom. That is how everything is made. That's how seeds go from seeds to trees. That's how trees go from trees to fruit. That's how fruit goes from fruit to an apple pie. That is a process. That's a strategic process and protocol. And that was God's goal and desire for you, is for you to become a part of the branch, to become one with him. That was God's design. That was God's vision. That was his goal. You are a part of that goal when you're producing. Remember, Jesus says this: I'm the vine, you're the branch. If there's no fruit on you, if nothing's being produced, if you have no vision or no goal, I can't fool with you. There's actually nothing we can do. There's no way you can help us right now. And so I want you to lean into your marriage to define this year. It's still January. As of right now, it's still early. God, what vision that either you have for us? Watch it. Let me help some of you guys, because some of you guys may be here too. Or God, what vision are we supposed to serve? Not what church, not what person. Because if you're serving a vision, you're serving God. You're not serving that man. That's how some of us get caught up. That's how some of us get hurt. We know what that's like. But what vision are you supposed to serve this year? I know I'm taking a little time with this, but this is very important for homes to understand this, because this could change lives. This could change everything for your family. You'll be the first, and we're probably talking to you'll most likely be the first in your family. I'll be the first in my family to pioneer something that's never been done on a scale that's never been seen before. And we've been a testament of God's goodness and kindness and greatness to do amazing things, to go amazing places. Yeah, I digress. I'm getting too excited.
I mean, that was beautifully said and beautifully worded. And you went more in depth than I think I could have even prompted you to do. But I think that it's important, I think that it's important for you all to hear this, because this is not a 2025. This is what we did. Yeah. This is a 6-year in the making, continual goal, vision, process that has continued no matter what the calendar year said.
And if you over spiritualize, you disable the materialization of what's supposed to happen. A lot of people start to spiritualize. God, what's the word? God, give me another confirmation. God, do this. God, give me another word. God, I don't need to speak to you no more, man, because you don't like to hear anyway. You're not even going to do what he told you to do anyway. I mean, and I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about I did a little bit. I'm talking about to where it produces a
furnished, fully finished. You've reached the end.
You planted the tree, and I see not only a nub, but I see a fruit.
You made a pie.
You made a pie from it. I made a pie from it. This is the type of result that you get from visions. You get results. You get fruit. Something comes of it, and sometimes you gotta be prepared. You may not get to eat off that tree, but you helped plant the seed. You watered it, and God was.
Say that again. We've been in many seasons and situations where we felt like we were called there for a reason, but we didn't realize that it was just going to be for a season. And so we built things from the ground up with people, and then we had to walk away because God told it. Every time I say because God told us to, it feels real religious. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But there came a moment that we knew our time was up for helping, for building, for being part of this
movement, moment, opportunity.
Yeah, for being part of this moment, and it was time for us to move on, which means we didn't get to see or experience the fruit that was produced from what we were a part of.
And don't be discouraged about that.
Right. We had to learn this the hard way. Yeah. But hopefully you can learn from our learnings and grievances.
And I'll kindly correct that. It wasn't the hard way. It was the way. There's things you're supposed to feel at this level. For those of you guys who understand the complications or conflicts when it comes to business, starting, building, owning, scaling, selling, you go through things that other people are not going to go through. You deal with things like it may look sexy, it may look fun. Oh, you got control of your time, or y'all get to fly here and we can do all of this, but you got more bills to pay. You got more responsibility. You got more taxes. You got more things. You got more accounts to look at. You lose more. Like it's not like losing $10 in your account negative. It's like, whoa, that was like a couple thousand and it's gone. That hurts a little bit differently. And so even everything we've been through is a part of the journey. And that's what I love about when you're on purpose and when you're in vision, because everything's a lesson. Everything's a seed. Everything's like it waters it. Imagine like everything we've been through, but what we felt after it. It grew something. It bonded something. Something got stronger when it got under pressure. So and that's the way of the kingdom, and that's the way of vision. That's the very difference of like, God, what are you teaching us right here? What are you showing us that will help us shape the vision even more? That will help us become even more stronger in our prayer life, and my kindness towards you, and my tone towards you. The vision, it determines all that. And so I want us to always, especially when it comes to vision, you get more realigned. You start to renegotiate everything. Like, wait a second, maybe it's not what I thought. Maybe I should stop doing that. Maybe she is my friend. Maybe she really does believe.
Yeah, I think one takeaway I think from this podcast, hopefully that you all get, is that maybe once you're done watching this, that you go and you sit and you think, what's the vision for our home? What's the vision for our family? What's the vision for our marriage? Yeah, well. Because I believe everyone who is doing it the kingdom way has a vision for their home. Whether you know what that is right now or you figure it out as soon as you're done hearing this, it's not going to be something overcomplicated or over spiritualized. It's going to be something that's kind of been nagging at you in the back of your head that you're already skilled to do. I mean, my husband mentioned a bunch of stuff already that people, you could be fostering, you could be opening a food truck. You could be a person who in the back, that you're supposed to start this church or small group and you've been putting it off. You're supposed to homeschool your children, baby. That's my ministry. And it's a ministry.
Yep, full-time job.
It's ministry. To be called to it.
It's boot camp. It's army. It's government. It's all the actually industries combined a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you got it.
I think it's important that you, first of all, go to God and ask, what is it that you feel our vision is for our family? Most of the time, he's probably going to be like, I've already told you what it is. Like, go on and do what I've already told you to do. And just know, do not feel bad that just because another calendar year has come, that you feel like you have to have new goals. You have to have some new word. You have to do something new. Yeah. Keep the same goal. Keep the same word that you had last year, the year before that, and finish and complete it, what God has put in your heart and what God has told you to do.
Vision, if you're scared to, because that word vision scares a lot of people because it sounds pretty big. Then kindly ask God, like, God, give us the people that looks like our vision, who we can serve or maybe be mentor or come alongside them. Like, you don't even got to serve them. Like, just build a community with them. If you have a family and you're a brand new family, you got a new baby, all of those things. God, show us the people that can help us model. They won't be perfect. They're going to have their problems, but there's going to be something special you can take away from them. And I find out with everyone we meet, like, I like the way that they do that. Mm-hmm. That's a really good thing that I like this. Oh, okay, yeah, we're not doing this. They letting their kids just do whatever. Their kids is cussing them out right now. Like, wait a second. So there's things that add to that vision, but don't be afraid to ask and don't be afraid to receive as well. So in this year of 2026, especially for the men of the family, ask for divine wisdom to identify what the vision is. Because the thing is, you may not even be the visionary of the family. Even though you're a leader, you may not be the visionary. Your sight up here don't really work that well. But you're great at identifying who or what is in the family. Maybe your wife. Your wife may be the visionary, and your side is to come along and steward and protect what God has shown her. Holla at your boy. That's a real situation. Or if you are the leader of your family, you're the visionary, you know where you're going, you know what the finances are supposed to look like, you know where the church is, you know what you're supposed to build, you know where you're supposed to give at, you know where you're supposed to start investing into, you know where you're supposed to maybe dive back and retreat. Like, y'all been going hard for a while. Y'all built all the stuff. And your marriage needs a little work, a lot of work, actually. Maybe the vision is restoration.
Remember who you are.
Yeah. Maybe this year vision is restoration for the next 3 years. You made all the money. Just go buy a couple cabins and fly around the world for the next year.
Just stay home.
Just stay home and do absolutely nothing. Just learn how to clean corners of the house together and play Uno in that corner, you know? And so, yeah, find out what that vision is that benefits and that serves others, whether it's in your family or your community. Guys, we want you to stay tuned here on Married to Marriage because, one, we're called to this. This is a part of the vision. You're in the vision right now. You're in the vision. And hopefully you can take something away that can add to what God is showing you, what he's telling you, and what he wants to do through you, through your lives, because you matter, you're valuable, you're needed, you're wanted, your marriage matters. That's why here we're married to marriage. We're married to the covenant. We're married to the contract that God has made between God himself and man, and allow us to do it with each other in life. And so thank you for tuning in this week. Please share some nuggets, comment, post, like, subscribe, all those things that people tell you to do on YouTube. And we'll be grateful and we're happy to bring you more content here on Married to Marriage.
I know they tell you what to do, who to be, but girl, please listen to me.